Coruscant glittered outside Padmé's window, but she felt no peace. The war had stolen sleep from the whole galaxy, and now it had come for her husband. Obi-Wan Kenobi arrived quietly, cloak damp from the rain. He expected a senator with questions. He found Padmé shaking, fighting to breathe. "It's Anakin," she said. "He's slipping." Obi-Wan's eyes narrowed. "Tell me everything, right now." Padmé did not hold back. She spoke of nights when Anakin woke in terror, whispering about visions he could not stop. She described his hands trembling as he repeated one name, Palpatine, like a lifeline. She admitted Anakin was meeting the Chancellor in secret and leaving their apartment with a look that scared her. Then she revealed the truth the Jedi were never meant to hear. She and Anakin were married. She was pregnant, and Anakin was drowning in fear of losing her. Obi-Wan went still. The room seemed smaller. Why now? "Because he said the Jedi are his enemies," Padmé replied. "And he talked about power, like it's the only answer." Obi-Wan felt the weight of every battle, every order, every moment he had pushed Anakin forward instead of pulling him back. Qui-Gon's voice echoed in memory. The future was always in motion. Padmé stepped closer, eyes wet, but steady. "I don't want him punished. I want him saved." Obi-Wan nodded once. "If Palpatine is poisoning him, then the Republic is already falling." He moved to the comm unit. One call to the Council could take hours of debate. Hours Anakin no longer had. Obi-Wan chose action. He would confront the truth tonight, with Padmé beside him, before Mustafar ever became Anakin's grave. Far below, a black security shuttle drifted past the apartment tower. In its tinted window, a pale face smiled, and a Sith Lord listened. Obi-Wan moved through Coruscant like a warning siren in human form. He left Padmé behind with guards at her door, then cut straight for the temple, cloak snapping in the wind. Inside, the Jedi felt his urgency before he spoke. He did not stop to bow. He entered the council chamber and placed the truth in the center of the room. "Anakin is married," Obi-Wan said. "Padmé is pregnant, and the Chancellor is inside his head." The words hit like thunder. Mace Windu rose slowly. "You are certain?" "As certain as I am of my own name," Obi-Wan replied. Pause. "Skywalker is having visions. He fears loss. Palpatine is feeding that fear." Plo Koon's brow tightened. Ki-Adi-Mundi argued for caution, but even he sounded unsure. The council had watched Anakin's anger grow, his patience shrink, his loyalty bend toward the Senate. Yoda's voice came quiet and sharp. "Clouded. The chosen one is. Seen this path I have." Obi-Wan leaned forward. "Then we change it. We do not wait for Mustafar. We stop the fall before it becomes a flame." Mace paced, thinking like a general. "If Palpatine is the one pulling him, we need proof. We need the Chancellor to reveal himself." A trap formed in minutes. Temple guards sealed the hangars. Masters spread into the Senate district in plain cloaks. A strike team waited in the shadows near the Chancellor's private suite. Obi-Wan demanded one condition. Padmé speaks to him first. If Anakin still trusts anyone, it's her. Mace disliked it, but he nodded. "One chance. Then we act." The holotable flickered. An encrypted signal appeared coded at the highest level. It came from Palpatine. Obi-Wan felt the Force tighten like a noose. Somewhere in the temple, Anakin's comlink chimed, and the Council realized the enemy had moved first. The Jedi trap was ready, but Palpatine had already sprung his own. And Anakin was about to choose who he trusted, his wife or the voice in the dark. Anakin reached the apartment in minutes, but it felt like he had run for days. The door opened, and he stepped in with rain on his shoulders and fire in his eyes. "You called me," he said. "Why do I sense Jedi?" Padmé stayed between him and the hall. "Because I won't let Palpatine pull you away from us." His name snapped Anakin's temper. "Don't say that. He's the only one who offered a way to save you." Padmé took a breath. "He offered you power, not truth. He told you the Jedi would betray you, so you'd see betrayal everywhere. Anakin's hands shook. They are betraying me. They hold me back. They fear what I am. They fear what he wants you to become, Padmé said. She lifted a datapad. Look, his office security flagged your comlink weeks ago. You were tracked, monitored, pushed into private meetings. Anakin stared. For a heartbeat, the rage cracked into doubt. Then fear rushed in again. This can be faked. It can't fake how you've changed, Padmé whispered. You look at me like I'm an object to protect, not a person to trust. A quiet step sounded behind her. Obi-Wan emerged from the side room, hands open, lightsaber still clipped. Anakin, I'm here. I'm sorry. Anakin's face twisted. You were hiding. I was ready to stop a Sith from being born, Obi-Wan said. But I'd rather bring my brother back. Anakin's comlink buzzed. Palpatine's private code lit the screen. Padmé said, Choose us. Obi-Wan said, Choose the light. Outside, distant speeder engines roared, and the temple's hidden watchers tightened their circle quietly. Anakin looked from the call to their faces, breathing hard, caught between love and control. His hand closed around his lightsaber, and the room waited for the first swing. The comlink kept buzzing like a heartbeat that wouldn't stop. Then the snap hiss of ignited plasma filled the apartment, blue light flooding Padmé's face, as Obi-Wan finally reached for his own saber. Mustafar burned beneath black clouds. Padmé's sleek ship cut through ash, alone. She had ordered the droids to stay back. Love had to speak first. On the landing platform, Anakin waited like a statue in scorched armor, eyes lit by lava's glow. When he saw her, his anger flickered just for a breath. Anakin, Padmé said, stepping close. I felt you fall, but you can still come home. He looked past her, searching for a trap. The Jedi turned you against me. No, she whispered. Your fear did. I'm here because I believe in you. The words hit harder than blaster fire. Anakin's shoulders lowered. For the first time since the temple, he looked small. I ended the war, he said. I can end all suffering. With you. Padmé took his hands. They trembled. Not like this. The power you're chasing will only take more from you. From us. From our child. That named child ripped through the storm in his mind. The dark voice that fed him suddenly sounded distant. He swallowed, caught between two futures. Behind a tower of steel, Obi-Wan watched, silent, gripping his saber but refusing to move. This was the moment Padmé had begged for. One chance, one clean choice. Then a cold whisper slid through the air. A holo call. Unseen, piercing Anakin's ear. Sidious's voice. My apprentice, do not hesitate. Anakin's eyes snapped wide. Rage rushed back like a tidal wave. He yanked his hands free, torn by humiliation. He's here, he growled. You brought him. Padmé shook her head, terrified. No, Anakin, listen. Obi-Wan stepped out, forced at last. Anakin, it doesn't have to end in blood. For one heartbeat, Anakin stared at them both, wife and mentor, then ignited his blade. Blue turned to red in the lava light. Pause. Padmé backed away as the platform shook. The ground groaned, and a wave of heat surged between them. Obi-Wan raised his saber just as Anakin charged, and Padmé's scream vanished into the fire. Mustafar's wind screamed across the platform. Anakin paced, blade unlit but ready, breathing hard like a hunted animal. Padmé did not run. She lifted a holo recorder in both hands. I came without the Jedi, she said. I came with truth. Anakin's jaw tightened. Truth? Obi-Wan filled your head with it. The recorder flickered to life. Palpatine's image rose in blue light, speaking from an old private call. Let the Separatist leaders die, the Sith had purred. Blame it on the Jedi. You will be my new order. Anakin froze, his eyes narrowed, searching the projection for tricks. Padmé stepped closer. I found it in your quarters, she whispered. He didn't save you. He used you. The holo shifted again, Sidious's voice, colder now. Your visions are fear. I can shape fear. The words landed like a hammer. Anakin's hand shook, not with rage, but with doubt. I did this for you, he said, almost pleading. To keep you alive. Padmé touched his cheek. Then choose me. Choose our child. He is lying about everything, even the power to stop death. For a moment, the red haze in Anakin's stare thinned. He looked at the lava sea, as if seeing every body he had made it swallow. What am I? He asked. A boot scraped metal behind them. Obi-Wan stepped from the shadows, lightsaber still off, voice gentle and firm. You are a Jedi, Anakin. You can still come back. Anakin snapped around, fury flaring, then faltering as Padmé held her ground. He ignited his saber-red light across their faces, yet he did not strike. Don't make me do it, Anakin warned, voice cracking. Obi-Wan raised empty hands. Then don't. The silence stretched. Then a new ship's engines roared overhead, descending fast, and Anakin felt a familiar presence press down like chains. The shuttle's ramp slammed onto the platform. Darth Sidious stepped out, smiling, and Anakin's red blade slowly turned toward Padmé. Sidious walked down the ramp as if the heat belonged to him. His hood hid a smile. Lord Vader, he said softly, finish what you began. Padmé stood between them, hands raised. He's poisoning you, Anakin. Look at him. Anakin's saber shook, red light cutting across her face. Obi-Wan stepped closer, blade still down. Anakin, I will not strike first. The words snapped something. Anakin surged forward anyway, slashing at Obi-Wan with raw fury. Obi-Wan ignited blue and met him steel on plasma, sparks flying into the ash. They moved across the platform in tight circles. Anakin drove power into every swing, trying to end it fast. Obi-Wan gave ground, blocking, turning, refusing to match rage with rage. Each step backward was a plea. Padmé ran alongside the fight, voice breaking through the clash. Stop, both of you. Anakin spun, throwing debris with the Force. Metal crates ripped free and screamed toward Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan sliced them apart, but the blast of heat shoved him to one knee. Sidious watched, calm, feeding the moment. Yes, he whispered. Let your fear protect her. Anakin's eyes darted to Padmé. Fear tightened his grip. He lunged again, then saw her tears, real and close, not a vision. For an instant, he remembered Naboo skies, laughter, and a promise he had made without power. Obi-Wan lowered his saber an inch. I'm sorry, he said. I failed you, but I won't kill you, Anakin. I will help you if you let me. Anakin's blade hovered at Obi-Wan's throat. His breath hitched. The red glow dimmed, just slightly. Padmé stepped in, placing her hand on Anakin's wrist. Come back, she whispered. Please. Sidious' smile vanished. He stretched out a hand, and lightning crackled, testing Anakin's loyalty. Anakin flinched, but did not move. The choice hung, burning there. Sidious's lightning exploded across the platform, racing straight for Padmé. Anakin threw his arm out on instinct, then froze, caught between saving her or obeying his master. Lightning splashed across the platform, white-blue forks aimed at Padmé's heart. Anakin's arm snapped up. The bolts hit his palm and scattered into the air, burning his glove, shaking his bones. He did not scream. He just stared at Sidious, stunned by what he had almost allowed. Pause. Sidious lowered his hand. Voice silky. Good. You can still be useful. But doubt is a disease, my apprentice. It spreads from the people you love. Padmé rushed to Anakin's side. You saved me, she said. That was you, not him. The Sith stepped closer, shadows bending around him. She is the reason you hesitate, Sidious hissed. The Jedi will take her. The Senate will condemn you. Only I can protect what you want. Obi-Wan moved in front of Padmé. Chancellor, this ends now. Sidious did not even look at him. He spoke only to Anakin. Prove your loyalty. Silence her. Then you will have peace. The order hit Anakin like a blade in the gut. His red saber stayed lit, but his wrist trembled. He looked at Padmé, eyes wide, trusting, and the old fear returned, hot and choking. Visions of her dying, of empty arms, of a dark throne with no one beside it. Sidious fed those images, amplifying them with the Force until they felt like destiny. Anakin's face twisted. You're turning her against me, he muttered, half to Padmé, half to himself. No, Padmé begged. Listen to your heart. Our child needs you alive, Obi-Wan whispered. Anakin, let the saber go. Anakin took one step toward Padmé, then stopped. Sidious's lightning cracked again, not at Padmé, but at Anakin's mind. Pure pressure, pure command. Anakin roared, rage replacing doubt, and lifted his free hand. Padmé's breath caught as invisible fingers closed around her throat and lifted her upward. Anakin's eyes shone with tears as Padmé fought for air. Sidious leaned closer, calm as death, while Obi-Wan realized the next strike would decide everything. Padmé hung in the air, choking, boots kicking. Obi-Wan started forward. Then Anakin's eyes cleared. His hand opened. The invisible grip vanished, and Padmé collapsed into Obi-Wan's arms. Sidious tilted his head. At last, now finish her. Anakin did not turn his blade on Padmé. He turned it on Sidious. The red saber slashed across the Sith Lord's lightning. Blue sparks burst, as if the air tore. Sidious stumbled one step back, more surprised than hurt. In that single step, the galaxy changed. You lied to me, Anakin said, voice ragged. About her, about me, about everything. Sidious' smile returned, thin and cruel. I made you, Vader. Obi-Wan placed Padmé behind a steel strut and ignited his saber. Then you'll have to face us both. Two blades moved as one, Anakin's furious power and Obi-Wan's disciplined precision. They drove Sidious toward the edge of the platform, forcing him to defend instead of command. Sidious answered with storms of lightning, bending metal, turning the air into fire. Anakin absorbed the bolts again, screaming through clenched teeth, while Obi-Wan cut a path, deflecting the rest into the lava below. For the first time in decades, Sidious retreated. He leapt onto a higher gantry, robes snapping, and his voice struck like a whip. You choose the Jedi over your wife? Then watch your republic burn. A holoprojector on his belt lit up. Across the stars, clone commanders received a new message, faster, harsher, final. Order 66. Anakin felt it, like millions of lights dimming at once. He stared at Obi-Wan, horror replacing rage. What have I done? Obi-Wan's face went pale. What he planned. Above them, Sidious's shuttle engines flared. He was escaping, taking the coup with him. Anakin reached out, trying to drag the shuttle back with the Force, but Sidious severed the link with laughter alone. Padmé grabbed Anakin's hand, and he held on like a drowning man. Then the Force screamed from Coruscant, and Obi-Wan knew the Jedi were dying right now. Across the galaxy, the command went out like a tocsin. Order 66. Jedi generals turned, in one breath, into traitors marked for death. On Kashyyyk, Commander Gree raised his rifle behind Yoda. The Grand Master felt it early and spun, cutting the first shots aside. He vanished into the trees, alive but surrounded. On Mygedo, Ki-Adi-Mundi fell. On Felucia, Aayla Secura never even reached her saber. The purge still happened. Sidious had planned it too well. But this time, the Dark Lord did not have Darth Vader at his side. On Mustafar, Anakin stared at the stars, hearing each Jedi death like a distant scream. Obi-Wan forced him onto Padmé's ship. If you stay, you die. he said. "If you leave, you can make it mean something." Padmé sent frantic transmissions on every frequency, to the temple, to the Senate, to anyone still human inside the clone ranks. Most channels were already jammed. Sidious moved faster. On Coruscant, he stood